Good afternoon. Welcome to the third lesson of our marathon. We have learned how to control our pelvis in different planes. And now we're going to add a new movement. Lie on your back. And now, with the exhale, experience a whole body. Feel your heels, calves, popliteal space, thighs, buttocks, sacrum, lower back, rib cage, scapula, shoulders, outer arms, elbows, wrist, hands, neck. And for the first movement, we bend our legs at your knees, the heels at the level of the sciatic tubercles. We perform the first movement, constantly reminding our uneven system that we control smoothly. We feel this movement. Gently bend in the lower back, look towards the knees, relax. Contract the abdominal muscles and look toward the eyebrows. We relax. Once more, bend over, look towards the knees, nothing superfluous, let go. Contract the abdominal muscles, look towards the eyebrows. The tummy goes inside. Let go. Great. Now, the next very important element is to separate the hip movement from the pelvic movement. This is the most important, in fact, movement that will provide you with stability in your lower back. What are we doing? We contract the abdominal muscles a little, moving the pelvis towards the lower back. You don't have to press it to the floor. Condition that your pelvis doesn't move, and we leave our fingers on the ilium for control as usual. And now we're making the next move. We gently begin to lift the toes of the right foot up. Slowly, without straining the hip joint, leaning on the heel. Slowly raise your foot up. This will further press our lower back to the floor. And now, a very important element. We don't press the left foot on the floor. Our task is to lift the heel of the floor so that the muscles keep the pelvis from moving. Trying to perform this movement, we contract the muscles and remember that we do everything very slowly to feel the movement. And now we are going to lift the heel off the floor, then bring the hip to 90 degrees, and then lower it slowly, smoothly down. Neck all relaxed, no tension, lowered down, lowered foot, lowered fingers. What is difficult about this movement? Very often the chest is strained, the neck is strained. This will just indicate that the target muscles are not included, but the assistants are included. The breath is held and the pelvis is shifted towards the raised hip. That is, the hip is in direction that is raised. There is a displacement of the pelvis, which means that we cannot move separately, feeling that there is a pelvis and there are legs. There is a stabilization of the pelvis and there is movement of the legs. This is why we will repeat the basic movement often, and in general, I recommend doing it practically there. If you feel that it's not working out every day until you learn how to stabilize it. Once again, an important point. You have contracted your abdominal muscles and do not need to deceive yourself with a quick leg break. At this point, you actually have a sharp jump from the lower back. If you cannot do it slowly, you still don't learn the movement that will lead to stabilization. Very often there is pressure on the opposite leg that is very thinly and slowly, but it will really give an amazing results for your stability of the sacrum and the lower back. Contract your muscles and raise a foot. You realize that you can't pull your leg off without shifting your pelvis. Imagine this movement. I have everything turned on, everything you need without basic muscles. That is everything. Imagine now I take off my leg. I just hear as if I want to remove only a couple of grams, and everything you need is already turned on. Let it go and let it go of the leg. Relax. You have already used the right muscles. They will begin to strengthen and you will really be able to do this movement easily. Once again, we lifted the foot, presented it, stabilize the pelvis, and as if we reduced the weight about 5 grams, here it is, turning on the muscles. Just don't lift your belly up. If the transverse muscle turns off, we don't do anything useful. We'll lose back stabilization and gently open slowly, not necessarily the first time. You may spend a week, but it will really be a very important start. So we straighten our legs and see what is the difference when we separate the work of the pelvis and the work of your legs. Feel how long the leg has become, how the entire right half has been released. Very good. And now the second important moment. Very often one leg does everything good and the second is not. I had the same situation and it's normal. That is our task. If we suddenly find on the weak side of the movement that doesn't work, we try to feel it on the side where it's more comfortable. Remember where the muscle contract, where they relax. Imagine a mirror image on the leg we need and try to implement it. Once again, the abdominal muscles were contracted. Now we have a different leg. Slowly, the toes of the left foot, then the foot. We stabilize ourselves so that the stomach doesn't rise, the right leg doesn't rest, the chest doesn't strain, the back of the head doesn't press, and very slowly, no shoulder. In other words, we fully stabilize. We raise it up, lower it down. The hip doesn't move, the back of the head doesn't press. Lower your foot, relax, and when you relax, you will not have that little jump. You just release the muscles and trying to perform 2 movements in the substitution. Contract the muscles, stabilize the pelvis, we can hold it, the tummy is assembled, and we raise our toes, our foot. We hear the activation of all the muscles for stabilization. Let go, relax, and feel the effect of switching on. One more time, slowly gather the pelvis, stabilize, monitor ilium and like it's just going to come off. Now let's try to complete it. One more time. The abdominal muscles are contracted, the fingers, the foot, the lower back, pressed even more tightly and controlling the movement, gently removing everything unnecessary, tore off, smoothly lower it down. Don't have a swinging femur. This indicates a non-synchronous operation. And now, straighten your legs, compare your feelings. How do you feel your imprint now? What has changed, right or left half? And slowly we turn on our side and sit down. This is a basic movement that will really help you to get rid of back pain. This is what will gather the muscles that should stabilize the pelvis. Don't miss this piece, no matter how much time you need. But is this movement that has a tremendous movement for the health of the back. And also don't forget about your work with scars and stitches. See you on the 4th lesson.